CILU 1027 Lipstick and Leather. Here we are on this awesome Friday with the band Nameless Friends with 1, 3, and 7. How's it going, everybody?
Hello, not bad. How are you?
I'm very good. This is very exciting. Last time I did a live interview, like live in the studio, geez, maybe 15 years ago.
Oh my God.
It's been a long.
Wow.
I've done tons of phone interviews, tons of in-person interviews, Zoom interviews, you name it. But as far as an actual band in the studio like this, it's been a long time.
Wow. I mean, we're honored. Thanks.
Well, I'm honored to have you guys here. And thank you so much for reaching out to me. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Very exciting. Now, you guys are playing a show tonight at Black Pirates. What can we expect from that show?
Yes, we are. I mean, it's a Friday the 13th show. So the fact that it is a concept, I'm already excited. The vibes are going to be great. We're playing with 3 wicked local bands. I was about to say Killer, but because Killer is the headliner. And also Technosis and Silence of Death. And we're on 2nd, baby. Doors at 9.
Very, very cool. All right, well, we're going to play a track right now by Nameless Friends, and then we're going to go into a couple questions of the interview, play some more tracks, and just have a generally fun, exciting time. CILU 1027 Lipstick and Leather. All right, that was Nameless Friends, Need, who are in the studio with us right now, and we're all having a pretty good time.
Hell yeah. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for being here and making time. That's really, really exciting.
Absolutely.
All right, now, number 1, you produce Blasphemy. How did you get into producing and engineering?
Oh, lordy.
How much time do you have?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, short answer. As a, female person, being in the heavy music space sometimes, it can be hard to keep control of your own work. There's a lot of pressure, especially as a female singer-songwriter, as a female frontman, to listen to what a producer tells you to do. So I went to school for popular music, but also for a little bit of production work to figure out how to kind of empower myself in the studio, make sure I wasn't being walked over. And then it bit me like a bug, and I loved it. So everything that we've done in this band, I've just gotten more trained and more schooling to be able to produce our stuff. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Now, what would you say to people who consider the band a political band?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Next question.
Not shy about that.
Yeah, no.
Now, speaking of tonight's show, are there going to be any copies of the first 100 copies of Blasphemy in the vintage case with the vial of blood available to buy?
Yeah, baby, there are. So the album is called Blasphemy. If anyone has ever told you that their Sky Daddy doesn't love you, this album is for you. And it is a concept album about daring to exist in a space where right-wing political bigotry and religious influence is a little bit loud these days. So the first 100 copies of the CD are printed to look like a communion wafer. They are the body of Nameless Friends. And they all come with a special edition little vial of red bubbles, which is the blood of Nameless Friends. And how many do we have left of those? Do you guys know?
Oh,
yeah,
I don't know how much bubbles we
there
have
are
left.
tens of them left. And we got them all put in vintage CD cases from actually CHRW Radio in London, Ontario, which is our community radio station in our hometown. So you can come pick up one of those with like the little vintage labels and the bubbles tonight. We have some.
Very cool. Now, any plans for Blasphemy to be released in other formats like LP, cassette, 8-track even?
8-track.
Okay. All right. We're not cool enough or underground enough to be doing tapes. Let's be real. No, but a whole bunch of our friends have been harassing us for vinyl ever since they knew the album existed. So I am going to tell Lipstick and Leather, and you can't tell anybody else. Yes, this is on the radio. Shh. There will be a vinyl next year with some other stuff. It's not going to be just the original album. There's going to be some other things on the vinyl. You can expect that probably around the anniversary, somewhere near May 2024.
I will quit the band if we put it on 8 tracks.
We can not do that. We can decide not to do that.
We are doing that.
Surprising how many bands are these days. So like I know the cassette
Really?
thing I get, yeah.
On cassettes or 8 tracks?
8 tracks. I've seen some recently. The
They
latest
do
Cheap
it.
Trick album I know was.
They do it.
Others I've seen.
Dude, an album that I produced for another band last year, I had to figure out how to master it for tape.
Well, it's a tape. Like, sure, I get it, because, it's like a vintage thing. I get it, but 8 tracks,
the
I
cool
will
kids
never
are doing
understand.
it these days. It's what they're doing. Sorry, number 7's dying over here.
Now, Sympathy for Lilith has a strong message, and it's a video. It's not just a video you watch. You have to pay attention to watching, which is good. everyone's attention span these days. Well, a lot of people's.
Yeah.
It works very well. Now, how long did it take to put together all the articles in the video?
Oh, God. The sad part is not as long as you would think, Ryan. The video that Ryan's describing, Sympathy for Lilith, is a 6-minute rock opera about female trauma. It's my particular magnum opus as the female lead of the band. And for the music videos, I'm also a researcher. I'm doing my PhD at Western University in London. Most of that work is in music production, but it also means that I've got a decent nose for heading around the library and the archives. There's hundreds of headlines about real-world discrimination and violence against women in the music video. We built an entire wall out of the headlines, actually, in our home studio. We called it the Wall of Oppression, affectionately. And building the wall was the longest part. Like, it took a couple of people hours, an entire day, and a ladder, and to put all of the headlines in the wall, because there were so many. But to research them all and categorize them all, maybe a business day or two of work. For me, it was some light research and Googling, a little bit of vetting. Every single one is from a major news organization. Wasn't that hard to organize them or print them out, and they're all only from, the last 5 years. There were just so many, which is kind of our point.
We did a very good job on it, for sure.
Oh, thank you.
All right, well, we're going to go into the track The Flood. Now, I think it's one of the heaviest, if not maybe the heaviest track by Nameless Friends. What do you guys have to say about that?
Oh, yeah, probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, let's go into it right now on Lipstick and Leather. CILU 1027 Lipstick and Leather. All right, The Flood. That was Nameless Friends. Having a good time here in the studio. We're all hanging out, chit-chatting, playing tunes, and it's a great Friday.
Hell yeah.
All right, well, let's get back to the interview. Would you consider Blasphemy and Mezzanine conceptual albums?
Oh my God, yeah. I don't think we don't know how to make a record that's not a concept record. Time will tell.
Do you have a favorite concept record of all time?
Ooh.
Oh my God.
Okay, no. Ryan. 3's just laughing because he knows that 7 and I are the worst people to ask about this. Okay.
I don't know where to start.
Okay, I'm going to start with, I wrote my master's thesis on Janelle Monáe's Dirty Computer, Kesha's Rainbow, and St. Vincent's Mass Seduction. And those are obviously very pop albums relative to the music that we make, but I loved that they were female artists who self-produced their own records for that. So I'm going to start with those.
Pups, the Dream is Over.
Pups, the Dream is Over. Excellent.
Oh, that's a good
Thank
one.
you.
Yeah.
3, excellent. Meatloaf's Bat Out of Hell.
Oh my God, yeah.
Come on, we keep talking about that one.
I'm thinking I'm going opposite kind of direction. Go. I was going to go... Actually, I guess Bat Out of Hell would become Jesus Christ Superstar.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Jesus person, but that is such a great...
Phenomenal. Any Queen record, ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plastic Beach by the Gorillas.
Yes.
Phenomenal album.
This is going to be the rest of the interview, Ryan.
Yeah.
Do you consent to this?
Close to the edge. A little bit more of a weird deep dive. Act 2, Father of Death by the Proto Man.
Okay, cool.
It is a Mega Man rock opera. I highly recommend.
Cool.
You're going to play that in the van tomorrow.
Oh,
I want to hear what that
It
is.
so much better than it has any right to be.
All right, we can't top that. That's our answer.
I could keep going on. That's all of my favorite albums are concept albums. That's just,
We like a thesis, Ryan.
Yes.
Now, has anyone ever compared Old Time Religion to Motley Crue's In the Beginning, the intro to Shout at the Devil?
No, but I love that you just did now. Thank you. I appreciate that. No. Old Time Religion and the other, concept-y tracks on the album, because they're not necessarily songs. I'm a big Brian Eno fanboy, so that was part of it. But I like setting context for narrative. You know what I mean? It's like doing your little cinematography, your little mise en scène. So those are all the concept tracks are different sermons from the Calvinist evangelist Rolf Bernard, who was not necessarily a super nice, accepting human being, but had a phenomenal Southern preacher's voice that we could get recordings of to use for free on the internet. And I made him say what I wanted him to say.
Very cool. Now, have any of you guys ever had breakfast at a record store?
Yes, that is. It's a real thing. That's a real thing. Breakfast in a record store is about how number 3 and I once went to Groove's record store in London. Support your local independent record stores. And we went to meet July Talk for one of their album releases, just because, massive fans of them as a Canadian rock band. and we got Tim's breakfast sandwiches, and we sat on the floor, and we waited for them to show up. And it was just really nice, so we wrote a song about it.
July Talks Touch and Pray for It.
Yeah, that's what it was. That was the album.
No, I mean for the concept albums.
Oh, nice. If you didn't hear those, July Talks Touch and July Talks Pray for It. Also excellent concept albums.
All right, now you guys did an awesome tribute to Queen called Live at Stranded Fest. Was it ever and will ever be released in any physical format? Because I couldn't find any CDs, records, not 8-track, but all formats.
Honestly, it depends if we can become incredibly wealthy by other means. Because Live at Stranded Fest, I mean, most of the songs aren't ours. They're Queen songs. So it was, don't get me wrong, incredibly fun to do. Hugely influential for us. But we don't have the rights to the publishing for Bohemian Rhapsody. So, shocking, I know. But yeah, we'd have to have a bigger budget than we currently do to ask Queen very nicely to pay them for the rights to sell copies of their songs. When and if that ever happens, like if you know Queen, ask them nicely for us. Maybe we'll make some. But other than that, it lives on the internet.
Yeah, it might be a bit outside our scope at the moment, you know.
Just a smidge.
Now, the track Self-Care was exclusive to the Stranded live recording. Has the band ever recorded a studio version of this track?
I can't tell you that for reasons that we're working on. Right, don't snark at me. I can't tell you that, Ryan. I'm sorry. I can't answer that question.
All right. Now, A Toast came out in 2019. Why didn't it make Blasphemy?
A Toast, honestly, is just sort of a fun one-off single that we've enjoyed playing in the live set. I don't even know how many copies of it are online anymore, because we just... A Toast is a jam song. The fun about it is that it's allowed to be its own thing and it's unique every night, and we didn't really like having like a canon version online that people were comparing the live set to, if that makes sense. So I definitely wouldn't rule it out popping up in other live albums and stuff, but as for a studio version, I don't know. That we like to keep the albums and the live set like a little different, save some stuff for the crowd, and A Toast is one of those things right now.
Fair. Now, we were just chatting about this topic. Nameless Friends did a tribute to Queen. Would the band ever cover any other band? Would you guys ever what other bands would you guys want to consider doing a full album, EP, live in the studio, whatever? Cover what band?
Oh, Ryan, you're okay.
Willie Nelson.
No. Fuck you, no. Okay, so Ryan, you are bringing up probably the biggest argument this band has ever had, because when we did Live at Stranded Fest, the guys... just seven's done. The concept of Stranded Fest is that every band plays as a tribute band for the night. So the Flatliners were playing as the Smashing Pumpkins, and we were opening for them. And Queen was the only band that everyone in Nameless Friends could agree on doing. Many other names were thrown out. None were successful. We have bandied about other suggestions. Not everybody agrees on them, and I don't want to get yelled at, so I'm not going to say any other ones. We have not ruled out, though, coming back and doing another set of different Queen songs. That's something we would be open to doing, so...
Dolly Parton.
You want to set me up to do, like, our Lord and Savior Dolly? Screw you. Come on. It's not... I love Dolly, but I can't measure up. Don't put me in that position.
All right, well, we were just chatting about the Queen covers. How about We Are the Champions right now on Lipstick and Leather. CILU 1027 Lipstick and Leather. All right, we played We Are the Champions. I hope you're having a great, exciting, fun evening. We're here with the Nameless Friends, doing an interview, playing tunes, and hanging out.
Hey, yeah.
All right. Now, what would your ultimate Nameless Friends bill be?
Oh, God. Like, with us? To play with us? Yeah. I'm throwing you under the bus. My cop-out is Lilith Fair. We're going to play at Lilith Fair. That's what's... I can't name anyone on that bill. Too iconic. Don't know. Your turn.
Okay, meaning just like anybody,
yeah,
or
who
like
else would we play with? Yeah.
Throw Cop's name in.
Okay. All right. You know what?
That'd be pretty cool.
I actually have a scheme. All right, Ryan. This is my scheme. I want to play on a bill where just the most random acts you've ever dreamed of, but everyone has to cover a different tragically hip song.
Interesting.
Like front it with the band. Okay. Don't you want to hear Lil Nas X do So Hard Done By?
Yes.
Don't you want that now? Okay, like Tom Waits, New Orleans is Sinking.
Hey,
right?
yo,
Right?
That would be cool.
Right? Don't you want Carly Rae Jepsen to do Ahead by a Century?
How much thought have you put into this?
I'm from Kingston, Ontario. I have lots of brain room for the Tragically Hip. Lots of it. That's my bill. That's what I want. And then we will play something in there, whatever song other people aren't playing.
Nice. Now, with yourself being a huge Halloween fan, number one, what's your favorite horror movie?
Oh, God. I am a Halloween fan in that I like wearing a onesie of a cartoon character and giving candy to children and seeing their faces light up with joy. I am otherwise a large scaredy cat and do not watch horror movies. Somebody else has to answer this question.
Hereditary.
Good one.
I've watched a lot of horror movies in the last while. I mean, I can just start going down the list.
All right, there you go.
Sure.
Midsommar was good, too. Maybe not so much of a horror, but...
Midsommar was good. Anything by... Oh, God, what's his
I
name?
can't remember his name either, but I know exactly who you mean.
Ari Aster.
Who did The Haunting of Hill House? I don't remember anything that he's done. Haunting of Hill House... And he also did
The
Doctors.
Vampire Show.
So they don't, I know, but they don't say vampires in it.
I did see that one.
That was really good.
It's not a movie, but Midnight
It's a
Mass,
TV.
the series was
That's the
Midnight
vampire
Mass,
show I was
Midnight
talking about,
Mass.
yes.
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
that was also really good.
not a movie.
So good.
We're really prepared. Sorry, Ryan.
TV show.
Now, how did you get involved in Rainbow Railroad?
Oh, we looked them up online. We're as part of one of the new singles off the album is called Demons, that we're supporting right now, and we are a queer band, and we have a lot of thoughts about the anti-queer legislation that's going around in Canada and a lot of the world right now. And we're always looking wherever possible that we can redirect our fan base and use our platform to donate to organizations like that actually help. So it's not just us, spouting off about things, but funds not going back to those communities. We have a fan base in the US and around the world, but we're a Canadian band. So we were trying to figure out what organizations are largely based in Canada but do have reach worldwide, like the Triage, you know what I mean? We found Rainbow Railroad. That's exactly what they do. Is they're originally a Canadian organization that uses their funds to help triage and relocate queer people worldwide who are legitimately in danger. And that can be everything from, crisis and evacuation services to like emergency helplines to funds to getting off back on your feet and starting somewhere new. And we're also supporting with our new singles merch, Trans Lifeline, which is the only trans hotline that operates in both the US and Canada, and where all of the operators are trans. So if you need to call, you can actually talk to someone who knows what it's like to be trans.
Now, yourself, number one, being a dual citizen, does the band plan to do a US tour anytime soon?
Okay, this is me getting onto my political soapbox for a minute, as where I'm, nice and comfy on my soapbox. I would love to take us down to the US to play for all of the Americans that ask if we would go play there. I don't have to get a visa. We would get visas for the rest of the band if, and here's my big if, there are people with uteruses in this band. And it's damn hard to insure an American tour if people in the band have uteruses and could need things like, I don't know, healthcare or emergency healthcare. And I don't think people put together sometimes that a lot of the policies in the US right now that are so, heinous and restrictive on abortion in particular, that really affects our band members' abilities just to be insured, just to get healthcare because we just have those organs. God forbid that something happened to me when I was down in the US, and I couldn't receive care because they've politicized abortion as an issue when that is not the only thing that goes on with a uterus. I mean, like pro-choice and everything else, we don't need to take over your show getting into that. But yeah, my response to people who want us to come down to the US is fight with your Congress people so that I can actually get insured for medical care, and then we'll come down there.
Good answer.
Getting off my soapbox, thank you.
Now, how did you get involved in doing audio production, mixing, and mastering the musical A Quarantine Story?
Ooh, my God, you did your research for this. Okay. So the COVID-19 pandemic happened. I don't know if people remember that. It's like a small thing I think we all went through. You can only laugh. We couldn't tour. We couldn't put on shows. So we turned to doing whatever other production work we could do, basically. And I'm using we here to also describe myself and Three, our guitar player, because Three does a lot of this stuff with me. And using our production expertise, you know, if we couldn't get into the studio, we had a lot of friends in local organizations in London, Ontario, our hometown, that were trying to figure out how to keep their organizations afloat. And they figured, well, they could do virtual musicals. But how do you do a virtual musical if nobody knows how to record themselves at home or knows how to put that together? So actually, I was really honored to be able to step in and work on Quarantine Stories. We figured out how to get people to record themselves at home, mostly with their cell phones. So there was usable audio that I could cut together and mix together. And Quarantine Stories then was a jumping off point to, I think, like 5 other virtual musicals that we worked on. And that was our skill set for a couple of years while we were all inside.
Cool. All right. You know what? We're going to go into another track right now. How about let's do Time to Come Clean, and then after that, the final part of my interview with Nameless Friends. So Time to Come Clean right now on Lipstick and Leather. CILU 1027, Time to Come Clean. Nameless Friends, we're having lots of fun here. I wasn't really counting, part 4 of the interview, I suppose it would be. 5, maybe it's 8. No, I think it's 4. Maybe it's 3. I can't either. Now, you produced, mixed, and mastered a festive tune called Holiday Joys. What about a Nameless Friends Christmas song coming up?
Okay. Holiday Joys we did for a very good friend of ours. I can't promise you that I am normally so cheery in the production seat. That was for you, Robert. I love you. You're welcome. I don't know. First of all, not everybody in Nameless Friends does celebrate Christmas. There's different faiths and different denominations, so I don't know. We're not opposed to doing, like, festive tunes. We've talked about potentially, like, covering a classic or something, but I could not tell you. Maybe you've sparked a conversation, Ryan. We'll talk about this tomorrow in the band.
Sparked a fight.
Yeah.
You've played guitar, number 1, since the age of 7. You used to build guitars. Do you still build guitars?
No.
You've played guitar, number 1, since the age of 7. You used to build guitars. Do you still build guitars?
Not lately, but, if you give me access to a wood shop, I might. If you got a bandsaw, hit me up. Anybody who's listening.
I have a chisel.
That would do some of it. Thank you. Parts.
That's what I'm here for.
Now, how did you get involved in voicing Jet? I hope I'm pronouncing your name wrong. I'm probably not. Jet the Rocker Princess in the game Arena Stars.
I need to know where you dug up, like, everything I've ever done in my discography, Ryan.
Learning things about you.
Apparently.
Hell, man.
Yeah, okay, so Arena Stars was a game put out by a small video game studio from London, Ontario.
It was a video game?
Yes. Okay. Tiny
How are you?
Tiny Titan Studios is based out of London. They're awesome. And I went to school with one of their animators. Okay. And the Arena Stars was sort of like I don't play games and I'm going to butcher this, Josh. I'm really sorry. It's like a fighting game where you make different characters and you fight each other. Yes, thank you. And all of the different characters were different princesses that they came up with. And they had one that was called Jet the Rocker Princess after Joan Jett. And they envisioned someone basically being able to do, like, vocal distortion and all the sort of, like, stereotypical rock vocal tricks. And apparently none of the voice actors they knew were trained in how to do that safely. So my colleague, my friend at school, came into class and basically said, is there anyone here in the music department, who knows how to do this? And I said, well, I do, sure. So came into the studio for a day and laid down some voice effects for that. So that's how. Friends at school. Networking.
What was this game called?
It's called Arena Stars. I'm pretty sure Jet the Rocker Princess is like a higher level character you have to unlock. I did not control that. I'm sorry. Not trying to be elitist. That's just where they put me. I say a lot of, like, welcome to the show! And stuff like that. Yeah.
Amazing. Now, did your previous band, Card, ever release any hard copies of material?
My high school band? No, not that I can remember. I think we made, like, a few CDs for our family and friends, which we were terribly embarrassed about because being 16 is hard. Some of them are still musicians, not all of them are, and I love them to pieces for getting me started.
Awesome. Now, you recorded a track called This City. Was it ever actually recorded, or wrote a track called This City?
Oh, wrote a track called This City? That was for a school project, and I'm trying to figure... Number 3 played on that. That was one of the first things we did together, just like as... University students, yeah.
We may have been called Nameless Friends at that time.
Maybe. Okay, yeah. I can't remember if that was a Nameless Friends song or not. It existed at one point.
It might be on SoundCloud.
Maybe it is on... Is that how you got it, Ryan? Is it on SoundCloud?
I don't have a copy, unfortunately.
Okay, where did we tell people about that? We're gonna have a talk afterwards, Ryan. Okay, next question.
Now, I could be wrong with this, but out of all the hard rock bands you saw, Aerosmith, Alice Cooper, Motley Crue, and Kiss, which did you enjoy the most?
How did you talk to my dad? Is this... Yes, so my father is named Doug. He is an extremely supportive white man. Everyone, we are great. Yep, we are grateful for Doug. He is the ally everyone deserves. And my dad and I have a tradition of going to see all of his favorite rock bands from when he was growing up. I gotta hand it to Aerosmith. I gotta. And it's... Steven Tyler is out there hitting all the notes. The only thing that's different is he's wearing zazzly little orthopedic sneakers instead of boots. But otherwise, he is crawling on that piano. He is hitting the notes. It's grand. Joe Perry has perfected the whole, I don't want to be here, but fine kind of look, even though he's clearly having fun. Was an absolute riot. I will say, not on your list, though. Saw Def Leppard last summer. I'm not exaggerating. Highest production value of a show I've seen potentially in my life was Def Leppard. 5 musicians who have dedicated themselves to just taking care of themselves, taking care of their instruments, being generally healthy, and it still shows. They're in their 70s, hitting everything was phenomenal. Shout out to Def Leppard.
She has not stopped talking about it.
Goals! Goals!
Favorite Def Leppard album?
Oh, I have to say Hysteria. Come on, Mutt Lange's Canadian. We gotta.
High and dry, but you are right about that.
Yeah, we gotta.
All right, well, that's all I have for this fun evening interview.
Thank you so much for having us,
thank
Ryan.
Yeah.
And check out the show, everybody. We'll be at Black Pirates Pub in 4 hours, 5 hours. Come say hi.
And you guys come on at what time was it? 11 o'clock?
11 o'clock.
11 o'clock.
All right, everyone, come to the show tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun, and that is Nameless Friends, along with Technosis, Killers, and Silence of Death. So it's going to be lots of fun. We're not ending the show yet, but we are going to play our last track by Nameless Friends. I think Demons is pretty appropriate. It's a video.
Yeah.
It's a single, right?
Let's do it.
But this version doesn't have the awesome intro that the video does.
No, you've got to go watch the music video. It's the best thing we've ever done. Thunder Bay.